Right, this is another little bit of creative playfulness for anyone who wants to know how to make a little book. The things you need are some paper to fold over, a needle, some thread, scissors to cut the thread, and then to set the mood, I've got paperback fragrance perfume, optional. If you're a proper bookbinder, you'd use beeswax and you'd pull your thread through the beeswax to strengthen it. But I really like the softness of this, so I'm not going to do that. This is how to make a very, very simple little book. It's just going to be a single row of stitching down the side. So first of all, take my pieces of paper, put them together, and then fold them over very, very neatly, corner to corner, and then crease down the spine. Okay, so this spine is where you're going to put your holes. You can be very perfectionist and measure the whole thing properly, or you can just do it by eye, which is what I'm going to do. So I'll put that's about the middle. Now remember, you're pushing through the paper, and if your finger's in the same place on the other side, you're going to stab your finger. So make sure that your finger isn't in the way, and then just push through to make your first hole. Okay, I'm going to make 5 holes altogether. So I'll do one towards the edge, not completely at the edge, maybe about there. And on the other side, about the same distance. Put it there, and then so I've got 3 that are equally spaced, and then in the middle of each one I'm going to make a hole. It's easy at the moment to push through because I'm only using 2 pieces of paper. If you have like 7 or 8 pieces of paper folded together, then you might find it harder to push the needle through because you can't get as much of a grip on it. And what you can do then is take a cork and push this part of the needle into the cork to make yourself a little awl, making your holes. So there's all my guide holes made. Now with my thread, I need, it'll go the full length of the spine once, twice, and then some extra bits for tying. I can always cut off any extra. So I can snip that there and then thread the needle. Easiest way is always to lick the thread so that you can get all the little fibers together to put it through the hole. And then press it neatly. And pull it through. Okay. Now, you're going to need to leave some of it sticking out here. You can make a little knot in the thread so it doesn't go through, but we're going to do this rather more elegantly and tie it up. So we'll have the tie, you can have the tie on either side. I think I'm going to put it on the inside. So I'm pushing through from this side and pull my thread through and leave a bit of thread behind. Then I go up and in the next hole. And pull this up. You can tell I'm not a real bookbinder, apart from all the little knots that I'm making. Oh, there, that's knotted. A real bookbinder would never let their paper get messy by working on a messy surface, but I'm not a bookbinder. And so then in the top hole, okay, so now you're going to go back down through the same holes and do the other side the same. So into this hole, trying not to go through the actual thread. And then back through this hole, again trying not to catch the actual thread as much as possible. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, in, out, back, down, and out again. So I'll go over here, in that hole there. My thread needs some lengthening. There we are. In that hole. You can see how pretty that looks already. And in the last, back in there. Okay, let's tighten all these stitches slightly without tearing the paper. Now, when I get to this point, obviously if I go back in, then my thread will be on the wrong side to tie a knot. So I'm just going to tie them together here. But so that the thread goes all the way to the edge, I'm going to slide my needle under there so that it's caught there neatly. Okay, so now I can just tie this in a little reef knot, if I remember it's right over left or left over right, something like that. I'm not a sailor either. A number of things I'm not. But I do get to pretend. I don't remember whether that was left or right, and I don't really know left or right anyway, so let's do it either way. It might be a reef knot, it might be a granny knot. We were about to find out. There. If you know your knots, you can now tell me if this is a reef knot or a granny knot. And then you can just snip your thread, leaving as much or as little behind as you want. And you can do that even into a little bow, but I haven't left enough for a bow. So you can have your threads on the inside and have this very neat spine on the outside, or you could fold it the other way and have your little bow bit on the outside. I'm going to keep it on the outside. And there you immediately have a little book. So here's your cover, and then left hand side, that we always leave empty in books. This could be page 1 or could be a fronter's piece. This is a very little book, so I'm thinking that'll be page 1, that'll be page 2, that'll be page 3. On these pages we need to do some illustrations to hide the marks. Page 4, and then we could have a page 5, or we'll leave this one blank. And there is your back cover and your little book. Congratulations to me and to you.